Hey, it's Michele Amabile with the new 1071 The Boss. I am so excited because Don Brewer is on my line, and this is going to be the year of the funk. Getting funky. Grand Funk Railroad, 50 years of funk. And let me tell you something, I just have to tell you this. The Locomotion was my soundtrack to roller skating in the summer with recreation.
That's perfect.
The loudest band in the world. Well, welcome to the boss. I'm just so excited. Now, 50 years of funk. What a great career. Tell me about the tour, which will be coming to the Tropicana in Atlantic City March 2nd.
Oh, it's amazing. We've already kicked off. We've done a whole bunch of dates. We're doing a few dates with Bob Seger on his farewell tour, and it's just been a great year so far. So we started back in January, and we've been going ever since. So we're kind of weekend warriors. We go out on Friday and Saturday and go home. So that's about the extent of our touring. But we're probably going to do about 45 shows. Maybe we'll even shoot for 50, to help celebrate 50 years of funk.
You're an American band. My God, it's like we play that here all the time on the boss, like on 11. do you do you still have the amps like so loud that we're going to need the earplugs?
Oh no, it's not quite like it used to be. A lot of the reason that we used to be the loudest band on the planet was because you couldn't get a good sound system, and so all you had to do was compensate for the bad sound by volume. so. Now, yeah, with the technology they have now and all of the line array stuff, it's just amazing the sound that you get and the lights. It's just the technology has just come so far from when we started in 1969. It's amazing.
Again, we're talking to Don Brewer from Grand Funk Railroad. I have a question. How did you write the song "We're an American Band"?
We were going through a terrible time period. We were being sued by our former manager and a couple of crooked attorneys that had taken all of our money. And we were kind of at a sink or swim situation. FM radio had changed from being FM underground to being more of a hit formula, radio, and we had to start coming up with hit records. So we're flying into towns, and the thought that came to my mind was, we're coming to your town, we'll help you party it down. And I wrote the song around that line, really. Up all night with Freddie King playing poker, and Four Young Chiquitas in Omaha, and Sweet Sweet Connie and Little Rock, all the things that were going on the road. And I put all the pieces together, and I really didn't come up with the tag until I just needed something. And one day I was practicing the song, and We're an American Band came out of my mouth, and I went, boy, that sounds good. So that's how I put it together.
You brought up the touring dates with Bob Seger. And I know you and Bob go way back. You were in the band for the Hall of Fame induction. Tell me about that.
Well, that was pretty exciting. You're walking around and you bump into Keith Richards, and then you bump into Mick Jagger, and it's pretty amazing, lineup of people that were hanging around, that was a pretty exciting thing. I go way back to the early '60s with Bob. We were playing in bands. He had Bob Seger in the Last Herd, and I had a band called the Pack. And we used to, be in Michigan, of course, playing all the little teen hop places. You play for the sock hops and the gymnasiums and, whatever there was to play. And that's where I first met Bob.
How was it getting back together and doing all those dates?
Oh, it's terrific. I've been a tour drummer for the Silver Bullet Band now going back to the 80s. So I've done, I must be 10 or 12 tours with them. And, it's kind of like my second family. When I'm not working with Grand Funk, I work with the Silver Bullet Band. And now we've got the good fortune this year to be out doing some shows and actually, playing on the same night with Bob. So that's pretty exciting.
I know they just announced a full lineup of dates, and including a show at the PNC Bank Arts Center on June 1st, which is a busy summer.
There you go.
Busy summer. Tell me how you feel that music has changed in the past 50 years. I know you're still up on all the new bands.
Well, I'm not really up on the new bands, and it's hard to find music anymore. Radio just isn't what it used to be, and I go way back to the early 70s when FM radio, the jocks could play anything they wanted to. They could bring their whole album collection in and sit there and for 4 hours play anything they wanted to. And I really missed that. And I think that was very good for the artists, too, because the artists knew that they could go into the studio and create, and they'd still get it on the air, and then all of that changed, and it became hit formula, and then the 80s was even more hit formula, and the 90s even worse. Now I think it's even worse. So it's if you want to listen to anything new, you have to go on the internet.
So how do new musicians and performers have to work on their game plan?
Well, really, it's all become internet based, and I suppose that in social media. So that's what the new way to get there is, and I'm not familiar with it. I'm really fortunate and very happy to have come up back when you could carry your new album around in the back of your car and stop at a radio station and knock on the door and have the DJ play it. Those were great days.
Indeed, they were. Tell me about the band. This is like the All-Stars, the Grand Funk All-Stars.
It is a great band, and we've been touring with this band now, for 19 years. So it's not a new band. It's myself and Mel Shocker, founding members of Grand Funk, along with Max Carl, who is from 38 Special. Max is the guy that sang and wrote 38's biggest hit, Second Chance. He's also from a great soul band back in the 80s, Jack Mack and the Heart Attack. And just a great fit for Grand Funk Railroad. He's, probably the last blue-eyed soul singer on the planet. Also got Bruce Kulick, who played lead guitar with Kiss for 12 years when they took their makeup off back in the 80s. And he's just an incredible, session guy, live guy, whatever you want to call it, and an old friend of mine. Actually, I met him on one of the Bob Seger tours back when he was playing with Michael Bolton, and Michael Bolton was opening up for Bob Seger. That's where I first met, Bruce Kulick. Also got Tim Cashin, who's been in Bob Seger's band and Robert Palmer's band and, many, many others. He's singing back up and playing keyboards with us. And like I said, we've been touring with this band now for 19 years, and we still like each other. So that says it all.
Tim Cashin actually has a master's degree. Dr. Tim.
Yeah, we call him Dr. Tim, right, yeah.
Do you need a degree to play music?
No, you don't. That's kind of ironic, isn't it?
That's awesome. Well, Don, aside from playing in Grand Funk, I know that you've done lots of good work with animal rescue. I want to talk about that.
Yes, my wife, we live in Jupiter, Florida, and my wife and I have been involved, for, probably close to 30 years. My wife was formerly on the radio. She did a lot of stuff on the radio in this market. And we got involved with a place down here, a no-kill animal facility called Safe Harbor. And we've been doing, any kind of volunteer work we can do for that place, for years. And I just like to tell everybody to, when they're thinking of getting an animal, go to the shelters, and help out the shelters, make a donation, and pick your animal at the shelters, and it's the best way to go.
You married a DJ.
I married a DJ. The DJ and the drummer. That's it. Yeah.
That works, though.
It does.
So, what big hits you're doing? You're doing all the big ones since this is 50 years, and then I'm sure you're going to be going deep a little bit too, right? Are you going to be blowing our minds?
Well, we do some of the album cuts. We do Inside Looking Out, and we do a part of TNUC, and that kind of stuff. But we focus on the hits. That's what people want to hear. We do rock and roll, soul, foot stomping music, Shining On, Walk Like a Man, Some Kind of Wonderful, We're an American Band, I'm Your Captain, Closer to Home, and the great Some Kind of Wonderful. So it's just Locomotion. That's the one that you brought that up.
That's my roller skating song.
Yeah. Yes.
I used to blast that. I have the 45 still. And Some Kind of Wonderful. I've seen so many people attempt to sing that in karaoke. Not quite the same.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Don, thank you so much. We're looking so forward to the shows, and of course, we're going to have everything listed up on our website. You excited to come to AC?
Oh, absolutely. We've been we've made this stop, I think, almost every year in the past 5 years. The Tropicana there, and it's just a great place to play. It's a beautiful venue. A huge full-size stage with great lights and sound. So yeah, it's a terrific place to play.
See, Atlantic City, we are your second home then.
We come there every year. Yes, we do, yes.
That's right. They're coming to our town March 2nd at the Trop. Thank you so much, Don, for checking in with the new 107.1 The Boss.
Thank you, Michelle.
And thanks. Don Brewer of Grand Funk Railroad, 50 Years of Funk, coming to the Tropicana March 2nd. 1071, The Boss. 1, The Boss.